Go, Ray.
Okay. The meeting of the West Warwick Board of Canvassers, the special meeting of the West Warwick Board of Canvassers for January 7, 2020 at 3:30 p.m. is hereby called to order. Members present are Chairperson Ray Lambert, Vice Chairperson Nancy LeBlanc, Member Bert Hollihan, alternate member Nancy Parenti, Democratic alternate member Nancy Parenti, and Republican alternate member J.P. Millette. We have a quorum, therefore we can proceed with our meeting, and the meeting is called to order at 3:31. Roll call. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of September 17th and December 17th. So let's do September 17th. This is over there.
You had already approved the minutes of September 17th.
Yep.
But what was the issue with that? That we had, last meeting, we approved the wrong minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
Then we approve the right ones.
Right. So
We
that
did?
I,
We did it already?
no, it was,
No.
we approved July instead of September. But they had already approved these prior to that, I think.
So what should we do?
Nothing. You approved.
We don't
it.
have to approve
No,
September
we've amended.
17th
We have
again?
amended
It's,
that
it's
one.
gonna be amended. We picked up the error after the fact. It will be
Oh, so
amended
something else is
on the
coming down
agenda
the pipe.
today.
That July 12th be amended, or?
No,
No?
we
The
did
September?
not, yeah.
Okay.
I just
All right,
put it
so
on.
therefore, we're going to table the approval of the minutes of the September 17th?
You make a motion to amend and make that date. Oh, no, we have it on.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna table, or we're gonna pass it as amended?
You have it on today for
Yes.
September. What I
I
would,
got September 17th and December.
what I would just say is approve as is, and then we'll correct today.
You lost me.
You
Approve as
you
is.
are- These are the minutes, you
Yeah.
approved that.
Yes.
You can't amend this yet, you approved it. Approve the minutes, you're going to find the amendment here to make this right.
What about July 12th?
Yeah.
You
July 12th.
already approved
I
this.
wasn't, okay.
On the
Okay.
new agenda, we're going to take
Okay.
care of it.
Okay.
So it says on the new agenda, it says approval of the minutes of the September 17th, 2019, but we're not doing that. We're not approving that.
Yes, you are,
We are,
yes.
as amended,
No,
because
we didn't amend those minutes.
we approved the wrong ones.
We approved the wrong one. So now you're just going to approve September 17th
All right,
and
I
approve
know.
December 17th.
All right, on our agenda is approval of the minutes of September 17th, 2019. As stated by the town clerk, we approved the minutes erroneously in the sense that they weren't the ones, but then we approved the regular, but today, we will be approving the corrected and the regular minutes that should have been approved before of September 17th, 2019. I'll entertain a motion to do that.
I so move.
Yeah.
It's a second.
Where are those minutes?
We,
Do we have September's minutes?
yeah, I got them right here in front of me.
Okay.
12/17/19.
No,
Well,
that's-
is it
No, that's-
September or December?
This is December.
This says December.
This is
Right,
it right here.
Yeah, I do have it in front of me. Here's September 17th right here.
Okay,
Oh, he's got, you got September?
Yeah.
All right.
9/17/2019, 3 p.m.
So he does have.
I don't have
okay. So those are the minutes that you approved last meeting,
have not-
but really,
What minutes are they, 9/17?
9/17.
We're approving those today.
okay. Can I take a look at it?
Sent them
He has
to
another
everybody?
one.
Here, here's
He has
another
another
copy.
copy of it.
They were sent.
I didn't look at,
There's another copy for
Yeah,
you.
right there, go ahead. You guys look at it, I don't need to look at them.
go ahead, you look at them, the first one, and give it to me. Okay.
When is the presidential?
Paper for you.
You got a cold?
No,
Oh, I was gonna say, get away from me. I don't want to.
No, paper for you. Trust me, we know that.
Okay, I approve.
No, you're gonna
No,
second.
you don't need this, right?
You're gonna second Bert's motion that we approve the minutes of the.
Yes, I move that motion.
All right, motion made and seconded that we approve the minutes of the September 17, 2019 minutes as we changed them, or we voted for the wrong minutes the last time. So these are the proper one, everybody read them, so you got the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted unanimously. Next order of business on our agenda for the special meeting is approval of the minutes of December 17, 2019. All right, we have, no, I got it. We had two mistakes. Karen, it's Karen Spatcher, but apparently it's been changed. On page 2, it's Karen Boudreau addressed the body, but it was Karen Spatcher. Karen Spatcher, yep. They've been changed, so we don't have to amend them because they were sent out
approve as
for our
amended.
approval. Huh?
You can approve as amended.
We can?
Yeah.
Well, it was sent out for our perusal and you made the changes already. So what's before us is the change,
That you just got today?
yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the minutes we're approving.
Right, that's
We're
true.
not.
Yes,
it's
you're right, and not amended. You're
Yeah,
right.
not amended. You got the one with Spatcher?
Yes.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the minutes of the December 17, 2019 meeting that are before us today.
I so move.
I'll second
All
that.
those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted unanimously.
It's not a JP.
Can I have a little bit, just discuss, because I think we were talking before about the minutes as posted were incorrect. And you said.
No,
Yeah, the September one, I think, was incorrect, right?
No,
Oh, no,
I
you
mean,
posted the one
I
with
mean,
Boudreaux.
Do we have to amend it,
no, we didn't.
amend the minutes as posted to
No,
these and
the
accept
September
them?
minutes were not amended. We just had an
Not the
approved,
spe-
no,
No, he's
so,
talking about
I'm
the.
talking about
The December.
this one,
yes,
the ones that you.
these aren't posted yet.
No, they were not online, you
No.
couldn't read them online?
We have 35 days,
Oh,
so
I
as
thought-
long as
I
we
thought
have the
you had
35
them.
days, we'd rather you pass them than us
Okay,
put them
that's
up and
fine.
have to amend.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, the next order of business is upcoming elections. Is there something different under that than under polling places, or is that all part and parcel of the same?
I think when we talk about upcoming elections, just to be clear that April 28th is the presidential preference primary.
Yep.
September 7th is the primary, and,
Eighth.
I'm sorry, September 8th is the primary, and November 3rd is the presidential election. That's sort of important, not just for you, but for all the people that were live to get those dates. All three of them, we will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Carrie will report on the
polls.
polling places, but there will be 5 polling places, all will open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Now, will we have the same polling places for the primary in September?
Well, no, let's just
Let's do-
talk
Oh.
about one at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
stay,
All right, so
we
now-
have to
Yeah,
stay
'cause
specific.
These
I
5 polling places are
Wait.
for the presidential preference
Wait.
primary.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
get to it.
it's for any
We're gonna get to
election.
polling places. Are we done talking about upcoming elections?
Anybody got any questions on upcoming elections? Do you know the 3 dates, you know what they're for?
Only if,
Holy Ghost.
Hold on, we got that
Oh, So is
covered.
it
April 28th, September 8th, and November 3rd.
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
Is there gonna be any discussion about the day after Labor Day?
I got your letter,
No,
but
no, I'm
she
just-
said,
I just said
Mary Ann,
Holy
Mary Ann said.
it
forget
doesn't
about
look good. It doesn't look good at all. It doesn't appear to be a priority because there's other priorities. Wait, at the state capitol, this happens once every 7th year.
This is the first time it's happened.
It happens once every 7th year that you end up with the first Tuesday after the first Monday being Labor Day.
I mean, how many times is it?
Yeah, because that's when the legislature starts too. the
So,
first
and all I'm
Tuesday.
saying is, I'd love it changed. I don't see that happening. As
But
we
let
get
me-
closer.
I was talking to Representative Jackson today about that situation, and he's definitely gonna press for it.
You know,
The
Well,
changes
that's a
they-
great idea. I'm not getting my hopes too high up on that. It's not a real priority at the Capitol. Maybe with, what was it, Jackson? Is that our new guy?
Yes.
Well, he's wonderful.
Well, I have
Jackson,
high hopes
all
for
right.
him, that he has some influence up there. But, the reality is, I don't think it's a priority at the legislative
But-
level.
Wait, the-
I agree with you, JP.
No, I'm just, I mean, they gotta be aware, I mean, you have to.
Yeah, but JP, they are aware, right, Mary Ann? It's not like, what? Oh,
People
we
come out
didn't
of the
know
woodwork
that.
against this.
I'm sure
You're
they're
like-
not the only ones.
Oh, my God.
right,
No, it's
but not
just
only that,
everybody is talking.
they have the carnival, the state brings in the equipment beforehand, and what's gonna happen? That place is open.
They're not gonna go there. We can't use that.
I know,
Just let's
so-
wait till we get to polling places, we'll talk, but as far as the elections go, I don't see those, I think those 3 dates are set in stone. A huge problem that would happen, by the way, is it would go into effect July 1st with the legislature, that's the first, or October, then we go to the next one, but say it went into effect, like the poll pads, July 1st. We got killed on getting poll pads ready for, the election.
Right.
And the primary wasn't a big deal at that point because, was it a presidential at that point? No.
No.
So we didn't, so all I'm saying is that would be a very difficult thing to pass and implement, because everybody's pretty well set in stone. When we're going with the presidential preference primary, what we're talking about is that and September. We need certain things to happen in both of those. Presidential, the general election is a little different, but we need those two set in stone. And it makes more sense not to duplicate your work, so we're working on both right now. We'll talk about polling places in a minute, but I just don't see them switching that date this year. And if they did, we have to notify every single voter. There's so much that we would have to do to change of what we're already getting done. I don't think they're gonna do it this year. I have no problem if they do. It's just work for us, more work for us, but the bottom, it would be just backing up and doing some backup work, but the bottom line is I don't see it happening. I'm all with you on it. I want it,
All right,
I don't see it
just,
happening.
See, you think
I-
you can
I
just
can't- I
send them a
can't
letter, you don't think Mattiello knows what the heck's going on?
They
What's that other
call-
theory you have? You have a theory that they don't wanna lose votes.
No,
in
that's
there.
early voting. They wanna be able to sway your vote till the day of election.
Well, then what's their theory behind not changing that?
Because it happens once on every 7th year and it's not that big of an inconvenience. I don't have to agree.
You've gotta,
But it probably is 14 years because it's probably the odd, it's
It
like.
probably
two-
is every 14 years. It's just, you're preaching to the choir here, let me
Oh,
tell you
I
something,
realize
because
that.
I agree, I've been fighting this since the day it happened. Me with the Board of Elections and Legislative Committee, it's not just Mary Ann. I'm on part of 2 committees that are fighting this tremendously. You'd think they would have some power, the Secretary of the State and the Board of Elections, they're doing it. They have actual people that go out and lobby on it, they're getting it passed. The town clerks, the Board of Canvassers, the elections people, we're small potatoes to the bigger picture of the major agencies in this state want that changed.
So I'm assuming that they're not closing the schools either.
We've worked around that. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No,
till
I didn't think
September.
We don't
I
close
didn't
schools for
think-
primaries. We don't close
No.
schools for primaries. So that's okay. That's okay.
so the state's gonna be okay hiring people to deliver the voting machines on a holiday.
Nope,
No,
When are they gonna do it?
Friday.
Friday.
They'll be locked up. There's no working on Monday.
But,
They're gonna
right,
be locked
but
up.
that carnival's all weekend, and what's gonna happen to that equipment in September?
It's nothing to do with the
We're
conference.
not gonna,
There's no polling
it's not
place at
going
the
into
carnival.
Holy
There's no
Gate.
polling
There's-
place at the Civic Center.
I'm not talking
No,
about
no, no.
civic, I'm talking about
We're
Holy
gonna move on
Ghost.
to polling places?
Holy Ghost,
Labor
the
Day.
Labor Day. Yeah, oh, yeah, well,
Yeah,
Where are they
we
gonna
got a
lock them
problem.
up down there? So we-
They're not
Let's-
gonna be able to.
Okay, so if we're done with talking about elections, once again,
We're talking
staying to the
polling
script,
places.
yeah, you
Are we
wanna
done talking about the elections in general?
whether we're happy or sad.
Okay.
We
The
can
next
bring more up
order
in
of
general
business are
discussion.
the polling places, and we'll start with
Yeah,
Sacred
there's no.
Heart.
Oh, we're
yeah.
on it. Oh, okay, we'll keep going. So I'm gonna let Carrie
Yeah.
report out on polling places. We can talk about the logistics of them all, but for the presidential preference primary and the primary, just what we found, what hurdles we have. I sent Paula and Carrie out to polling places and to the 5. Sacred Heart was wonderful, by the way. We're thrilled. They're gonna be on forever.
I've
But-
been saying that.
And I
Carrie
saw,
and Paula went.
I spoke to Christ the King,
Yeah,
too.
he
Yeah.
said
I
he
have
did.
a question.
Who did?
The Chris the King guy
Oh, did he?
called us, yeah.
Okay. Christ the King guy, you mean Father Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead,
Bert
go.
wants to talk.
Yep.
Yeah, what's up?
St. Mary's Church, you know, the church has been closed, the rectory's been closed.
Yeah, but they went, right? Did you go there?
He had a funeral yesterday, but I did speak to him.
What'd he say?
Who did you?
Well,
speak
we're
to?
jumping around. We're jumping around.
Yeah.
We're talking about Sacred Heart right now.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's talk about polling places. Let me have Carrie report out on what happened with her and Paula, so you can
Yeah.
know where we are,
Mhm.
and then we don't waste time.
For April, yeah.
Let's do April, and then you can follow up with who agreed to
Okay.
September.
So we did go to Sacred Heart Church yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful
I've been
spot.
saying that for years.
So I did, we left there, I did get a hold of Board of Elections to talk to Steve Taylor, and he's gonna call me back, go out and check it out, make sure, I told him,
And it
It's-
handicapped accessible
I
on
told
both
him there's
sides.
ramps, there's
Yep.
parking right there at the doorway. I said, it seems like an
Better than-
absolutely
right.
perfect polling place.
I hope he's gonna go out there soon.
Oh,
We
yeah,
wanna
I already
know-
told him.
We don't wanna know April 1st.
No, I already told him, and he said he would do all the other work on his end for the disabilities, and he will do all that for me.
Okay.
Then we went to Christ the King. They showed us, again, new doors. I guess there was problems with the locks and people couldn't get in, and perfect, everything looks good over there. We went to Holy Ghost. They are good for the PPP. Cardi Furniture, again, no problems
That's the best.
right there. And then, like I said, St. Mary's, he did have a funeral, and so I have to call him back. He told me to come by, we did go by, we couldn't get in.
All right, Bert, go ahead,
So-
say what you gotta say about St. Mary's.
Now, St. Mary's,
Yeah,
they not only closed the church, but they closed the rectory, so there isn't even a priest there. I mean, the place has been shut down.
They already closed it?
Yeah.
I
Which-
thought they
which-
combined churches with another church.
Yes, they combined with St. John and St. James, and the pastor at
That's St.
St. Mary's retired.
Right.
And the St. John's pastor does both
Right.
churches.
Not for mass,
Father
it's
Fleming.
closed. They don't have masses there anymore, I mean.
I don't know,
How are we
But
gonna
they'll
get in?
open.
You know what they do have there,
They'll
Bert?
give you the
What?
key.
Elections.
Yeah, if
They
they
said
get,
yes.
who do we get
They don't care if they
permission?
don't have
I mean,
masks,
will they
right?
open it?
Father Fleming is who I,
That's St. John's.
They'll probably give
Yeah,
us
but
the
St.
key.
John's-
So,
They're
I
on
mean,
St.
he's the one
Mary's
to
now.
talk to.
yeah, that's who
That's what she
emailed
said.
me.
Okay, because Fleming is the pastor at St. John's, but he's filling in at St. Mary's.
That's who sent me the email.
Okay. I wanted to make sure it wasn't,
Okay.
who's the guy
Does
you
he
want
know
to
that
talk
he
to?
has to get
Yeah.
up early and
Oh,
open that up so they
Spina.
can?
Yeah,
put in
the pastor over
voting
there was
machines ahead of
Spina.
time?
Right, what do
St.
you know,
Mary's.
Bert? Is he a late
Bert,
sleeper?
they'll give us
Is he
the
not
Don't make
key.
us
willing to do
nervous.
that? Those
Bert,
priests are pretty lazy,
They'll
believe
give
me.
us the key.
Everywhere we went, they said, can you please make sure, like, they come and get the key beforehand? I said, absolutely.
Right,
Even at St. Mary's,
yes.
Him I have to email back,
They don't
because he
know
had a
yet. She's
funeral
gotta
yesterday.
talk to him.
They,
because that could be. that
It's
could be-
closed, it was
Yes,
Spina.
that's,
I have a
Was the
question,
pastor.
I have a
He's
question to Marianne. Marianne, you said that St. Mary's, you talked to them, and they said April 28th was
They
okay.
said yes, she hasn't met with them.
I
Yes,
haven't met
she-
with them
Right,
yet.
but you
Carrie
haven't met
talked
with
to
them, but they said okay.
They said yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now then another question arises, does the place need to be heated?
it's April.
It's
It's
April, but if it does, it does.
No, I think what Bert's getting at is the other churches are functional right now, St. Mary's is not.
Well,
I
they're
don't
getting
believe.
paid.
So they
So they can
probably
pay the
turned
heating
I
down.
mean,
bill.
I pray to God that we can use
$200,000?
St. Mary's, cause it's a hassle.
If they say, Bert, I'm gonna guess, just to be honest with you, if there's a primary and they know that hundreds and hundreds of people are gonna come through their doors, they may flick the heat on. I can't imagine they would not, because you have people there from 7
Kelly,
AM to
put
8.
that down, ask Fleming. Because
Of course
they
they're gonna
can't.
put the heat on. I mean, if it needs to be on, it might be
Because, I
70
mean,
degrees in
they
April.
can pass the buck too, you know?
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, they're getting
I
paid.
know those
We
priests.
can negotiate 200.
Kerry, you get that, ask them.
200 for sake of
If it's
it.
not functional and they're not using it, are they gonna have the heat on and stuff?
right, okay.
The water turned on, I don't know what they turned
Well,
on.
Oh, and the
they
water,
must
too.
have it
Well, they
on.
will have
if
to
the
have
priest goes there.
functioning facilities,
That's right.
whether there's a kitchen or not,
Right.
because I mean,
Yeah.
and,
Oh, the kitchen, no.
what's the alternative, Macy Quinn?
Yes.
Yeah, the special needs kids, and the last time we did that at bus drop off, cause the school wasn't closed, there was some confusion. I
Yeah,
would
there's
suggest
some-
not, but let's do this.
Those are
Let's
the two
be-
polling places though in Ward,
In November.
in Ward 4.
Before,
No,
yeah.
no, but he's right about Maisie Quinn. If you can't use Maisie Quinn, you
No.
can't use St. Mary's. You
No,
don't have-
Maisie Quinn is open on primaries. We close the schools for elections. Election day, we certainly will
But
use
will
Maisie
we
Quinn.
be able to put a presidential preference primary, which is supposed to
No.
be huge?
No, we're not
and
using
Maisie
that.
Quinn, with it being open and the disabled children in there?
No,
Isn't that what you're asking?
no.
I'm just gonna ask him if that's the alternative to St. Mary's. If
It is.
St. Mary's,
I think we
we're gonna
just
have to
stick-
use Maisie Quinn, correct?
Right, and that means
I think
letters.
we need to cross that bridge when we get to it. At this point, St. Mary's has been amenable to what we're doing. I'm not thinking he's gonna say, by the way, nobody can go to the bathroom for those 14 hours,
All
or
right.
wash their hands, or they better bring their down jackets. I doubt that's gonna
That's
happen.
right.
No, yeah, Carrie's
I'm
gonna ask
I
them
think we're
about
gonna be
that.
treated like human beings, and I'm sticking with
Yeah,
that.
cause the
But I'm just saying-
Yeah, the
utilities
bathrooms
must be
have
up
to
and
be-
If it
running.
goes to
The
Maisie
water
Quinn.
has to be
Well,
turned
they just had
on.
a funeral.
Well, they
you
must
know,
be on.
No, but they would turn it off to save money,
Well,
especially the
not if-
water, because
well,
if they
they're
turn the
going to
water
re-
off, then they don't have to pay the sewer bill.
Well,
You don't wanna shut your water off
And
in the winter,
electricity.
crazy.
Don't
No.
worry about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I-
no,
I-
I will worry about it, because that's a
Wait,
big job.
Bert,
if
why
have
don't
to
you
go to
let us
Maisie
worry
Quinn.
about it and report to you? I think
That's
that's, yeah, okay. Write that down, make sure
Okay.
Bert knows what we're doing.
But ask those questions,
We will.
water, sewer,
We have to make sure all the buildings that we use are functioning, or we would get in trouble with the board.
right, yeah.
There you
They
go,
have to
yeah.
have electricity.
I think
You have
St.
to have
Mary's,
lights.
I think we're really,
I think St.
Don't have to
Mary's
go this-
is functioning because I think what I read in my bulletin is that they still do funerals and weddings.
He was at a funeral yesterday, that's why.
At St.
people did.
Mary's or
Yes.
St. John's? He's the
No,
pastor at St.
St.
John's too.
I
Mary's.
sent it through St. Mary's.
Okay.
Email
And
and,
he had a funeral, so
He's the one
they
that-
have a funeral.
Yeah.
they
yeah,
still
he
do a
said I
funeral.
could come by,
yeah.
but that he would be tied up.
if
Yeah.
Father
So,
Fleming, you know
and that was
him,
at St. Mary's.
Yeah, I know who he is.
so I mean, he's
Please
a
get
guy who
those
would
questions
understand we would
answered.
need
That-
water and
that-
electricity.
Yeah, 'cause he don't
ASAP,
use them.
that would, because otherwise there's a big, that means we gotta send out those postcards to everybody in the fourth ward like we did, years ago. Remember when we went from, the tavern?
We're switching,
St.
we're going
Well,
from Sacred Heart, we have to do the
We
same
have to do
thing.
that, yeah.
That's a big job,
It is a big job, that's why changing the primary date would be the entire town, not one ward.
right? I remember that one.
Something to, are we done with the polling? Something to remember too about Christ the King. He put in the bulletin yesterday, he's gonna be retiring, Father Tim, in a couple of years. And they may close, Christ the King may merge with St. John's too. So you may, that's just for way down the road, but keep it in the back of your mind, Christ the King may close
The
too.
buildings will probably be used for alternative means, and I think that if they still wanna let us use them, but otherwise, I mean, since I've gotten here, we've switched quite a few polling places, we
Yeah.
know how to do this, it's just
Yeah,
a pain in the
yeah.
neck.
And I do understand that, the villa has been sold, so maybe with the new owner in there, maybe come next election, we might be able to use that in 4 again instead of St. Mary.
Well, if St. Mary, I tell you what, I love churches and schools, the compliance, restaurants probably is too as well, but compliance issues, ADA, parking, they declared excellent that, but once again, let's cross that bridge when we get to it, because for right now, we have those 5 polling places for April, and we have 4, and we don't wanna go too far down to the primary, but Holy Ghost does not look like it's gonna be one.
Oh, okay.
We're working on looking at
Did
an
he,
alternative.
has anybody looked at the Elks lately? Maybe why let,
They
They
won't
haven't
let,
done
you know
anything.
why we can't use the Elks? Because of the holes in the parking lot.
take a
They're
look.
afraid someone's
I drive
gonna
by
get
there
hurt.
all the
Yeah,
time.
right.
No, there's
That
big
parking lot-
crevices in the parking lot, in the handicapped entrance where you can't get a wheelchair through.
It's the other parking lot, the
It
one
was-
on that
it was,
street, Oaks, whatever that
rejected.
street is.
But couldn't
You can
we,
go in the other door, but they don't want you
That's
walking through a
Pike
bar
Street.
to get to the polling place, which I
Right.
agree with.
couldn't we have just 5 polling places in
Forever?
September?
Forever?
We are.
No, not
We are in
forever.
September.
Yeah, okay,
No,
We
okay,
need one, we can't use Holy Ghost because
Okay.
we can't get in there on that Friday.
okay. But we got, well, would be Clyde Towers, but,
Well, that's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Go with Clyde. Nobody
Yeah.
likes it, but for a primary,
Yeah.
not a
You know
lot of
what?
people come out for a
You're
primary.
gonna have plenty of trouble with parking. There's no parking
Where?
now.
But you know what, Nancy?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
Karen
it's
said.
separate.
Yes.
Clyde Towers.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, we've used Clyde Towers for a long time, we're working on it, but we can't use Holy Ghost for Labor Day weekend. In the future, if you, like you're saying, 14 years from now, we'll worry about Holy Ghost again.
Yeah,
We use Clyde Tower one more time. We've listened to people complain about Clyde Towers for all the time I've been here. One small primary, not small,
No.
but primaries are not as well attended as elections.
It's a statewide primary, so.
Yeah, we don't know what the
It's
primary
not-
is. Yeah, but the problem is there's no
Yeah.
governor.
'Cause
lieutenant
it would
governor, there's no
just be
state
rep
employees.
and,
I mean, no state
senator
officers,
and,
it's just-
town-
council.
It's
town
all
council
Congress,
primary.
Town council, school committee, that's
They
it.
have an auditorium.
And school
They
committee,
have a
town
basement,
council, this election,
but they
everybody
have,
is
they
4
don't
and
have great
5.
parking.
Yes,
It
it's
wouldn't
John
have-
it
Olico.
wouldn't be
and
Clyde
Jason
Towers.
Lichardi, right.
It's 4 and 5, town council. School committee, I think, is 4 and 5.
They are.
All right, so the only primary you're gonna have here, if you have one, is
The
legislators.
reps, the
Reps and
reps,
senators.
reps.
Reps, that's it?
Somebody
Or
could
Senate.
primary school committee and, but, yeah.
The seat ain't up.
Huh?
The
The
s-
2, 4, and 5 for school committee. They
Yeah,
can
but
pick
that
up
has
four.
got nothing to do with Clyde Towers.
No, you're right.
So the parking over there is only gonna be
Right.
rep.
Yeah.
One rep and one senator, that's
We're
it.
trying to get it, when Monsignor's over, we've got, Sacred Heart, we're never using Monsignor again, we've solved that problem, that's been
Yeah.
a problem since the
Right.
day I walked in the door, I've been hearing, so next, Clyde Towers is the next most complained about place.
Yeah.
By the next election, maybe not this year, but by the next election, that'll be gone too. We're working on it, everything takes years to do with these polling places, that's.
How many polling places do you plan on opening for the state primary? That's what Nancy was asking, 5 or?
Five.
5,
We've
only
opened
one.
5 for
Okay.
primaries always. So,
And you checked with these people, Kerry,
Yes.
about the state primary
Oh, yes,
in September, they all said okay too?
yes.
I didn't ask Father Tim about the.
even Holy Ghost has said
Oh,
to us,
he-
we'll lock it in a room, I
Secretary
said,
wrote
no.
all the dates down, all the
What's
way.
No.
going on there?
Yeah, I know, I called her too.
I'd be
Debbie,
scared to death, I wouldn't sleep all
And then
weekend.
2 hours later, she sent me an email to let me know I could come in and look at it.
The kick in the door.
oh, all right.
Right.
I told her that, you know, it would be okay, because like I said, how many times have we used Christ the King?
Yep.
That's one of the best polling places, big parking lot, big auditorium.
Walk right into the coffee room,
Yep,
the downstairs room,
yep.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Walk right into the, what's his name, you know, I knew that was okay, but I had to check with Father Tim, because he's the boss, not Debbie. And, he said, okay,
Although-
but just check the date, and that's
He
why I
said
checked
she
it.
was the boss yesterday.
Oh, well, that's Father Tim, but she's not the boss, I know that. All right,
Well, and you know, if these places close, whatever they, like, I don't know if what they'll morph into, but there are other potential places.
Not that many.
When
well,
you have a church, it's probably not gonna be turned into a store or a residential home.
depends who buys it.
Well, that's a good point. But all I'm saying is, as a rule, like old churches become community centers, become schools, become this and that.
The CVS in Attic was.
A church,
St.
only in West Warwick. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
stop giving
And
alternatives for anything.
St. John and St. James,
Well,
school
you can only deal with what you have in hand.
is vacant, and then the convent is demolished, and it's a parking lot, I mean, yeah.
We only have one Catholic school in town now, right?
Yeah, St. Joe's
Yeah.
and St. John and Portland
Yeah,
Cottage.
when we first came, I think we had 4.
All right, now, what else do we have under these 5?
Anything else about polling places? We are set, just so you know, we'll talk all you want about the primary, but for the presidential preference primary, we are set as far as that. We're looking at poll workers, we're gonna start looking at poll workers
Yeah.
next.
Yep, okay.
And getting that polling station changed. We're already putting the ads in, so we're pretty on top of, we will put the ad in the paper with the polling stations, and we will put a separate ad in that there's a polling station change.
Any questions? All right, the next item, oh, yeah, certainly, come to the mic and state your name, and I know who you are, but
The question,
state your name though, for the records.
last name is Apollonia, first name Felix. Not, the question not about the presidential, the general. If the polling place is moved to Sacred Heart, you're gonna have some people in Ward 1 that vote for Senate 9 and some that vote for Senate 27. So you're gonna have 2 polling places in the general, probably Wakefield Hills and another polling place where Monsignor moves to Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
But Sacred Heart is outside Senate District 27. Sacred Heart is in Senate District 9, so we're gonna have an issue with two ballots in there? In other words, are some people that are gonna go into that polling place, some gonna vote for Senate 9 and some Senate 27, or are they only gonna vote for one, is there only gonna be one Senate ballot?
No, obviously, if that's the only polling place in that district, and it's got two things, you're gonna have to have two ballots, I would imagine.
Well,
Yeah,
we've
does
done
that,
5 polling stations
but
in the past.
doesn't that create confusion with two ballots?
We've done it in the past, and I can't even speak to what you're saying, because we've never had a problem. So I can anticipate a problem if you want, but I can't speak to it, because there's never been a problem. What I think will happen is if Mary Ann goes in and says,
I'm not sure, I'm not
you
sure
go
if
in.
we've had one polling place covering two Senate districts.
Well, we'll look into that. That's a good
Yeah,
thing
I'm
you
gonna
brought
check,
that
I'm
up.
gonna ask the Board of Elections that question.
Well, that's a great idea, Felix. Let me know.
Well, no, you ask them,
Kerry.
Oh,
you ask
okay.
them. I mean,
You'll
so, I
ask
mean,
them.
Put that down.
I mean, someone should ask them because,
I'll ask
I
them,
mean,
absolutely.
maybe it's,
I'll ask them.
maybe it's not a
I
problem.
talk to them every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Who?
They're on the phone with her every day.
Every day I talk to them.
Yeah. She worked at Board of Elections. She knows her very well.
Did you?
They're
Oh, I
very
did.
helpful, yes. So, yeah, let's make sure we ask that question, Kara. How do we handle that?
And then again, it only arises if there's a primary.
Well, unless everyone that votes in Senate 9 goes to Wakefield, well, you can't send everyone from Senate 9 to Wakefield Hills. I don't know how you're gonna divide it up. You
No,
basically,
Wakefield
you're
Hills
gonna end up with,
primary.
you're gonna end up with two, you're probably gonna end up with two different Senate ballots, because you're gonna have, Ward 1
Not-
ends, Ward
well-
1 ends at the manor, doesn't it? Isn't that the line right there? I mean, Ward
Yes.
1. Senate 27 ends
At Monsignor
right at
D'Angelo's.
Monsignor.
But that.
I don't know, you have to
Well, I mean,
check.
it's
If on the
something-
Sacred Heart side of the
I'll check
street,
that.
Felix,
Pardon?
if it's on the Sacred Heart side of the street, then you make,
But the
Monsignor
people that,
is-
that would vote at Monsignor would just go to Sacred Heart.
Right, you're,
And you're talking about the general.
in other words, in the general, there
The
is some,
general
in the
election,
general,
He's saying
November.
by having 5
In the
polling
general.
stations.
all right.
in the general,
We
there
got
is-
plenty of time for that,
Right.
in November. I was
Yeah,
thinking of the
this-
primary.
This would have come up before.
in other
All right,
words,
we're gonna check it out. so
you've
it's
got some people down the other end of Ward 1
Uh-huh.
that vote in Senate 9 that probably will vote at Sacred Heart. And then you're gonna have some people from Brookfield Hills that will also vote at Sacred Heart. So it's basically gonna be two different ballots because of the Senate district. So,
Kerry will check it out.
you know,
Yeah,
maybe
but that's-
it's not a problem, I don't know.
Yeah, it hasn't been in the past, and I would have thought this would come up, we do, I mean, but let's look into it, because I don't know how to respond to it, having not had to address it.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
Felix. Thank
Anything
you.
else on the polling places? All right, the last item on the agenda is playtime at the polls. Update.
We haven't heard from Meg, so we're gonna take no action on this, and if she does do playtime at the polls, it will probably be put off to the primary.
Okay, so in other
If
words,
she in
we're
fact
not
calls us
tabling
and
this.
says I'm all set for April, we'll let you know at the next meeting. But she hasn't called us back as far as the presidential preference, so I'm guessing she's planning on the primary. Paul thought, anyway, I thought she was doing the presidential preference primary. Paula thought, she said she was doing the primary, so we have to clarify that with her, because she hasn't called us back, which leads us to believe is doing it.
Okay. All right. Now, you're saying now because of the Attorney General that we can't open it up for just general discussion? How do the people in the audience get to speak if they wanted to speak?
We are in general discussion, I think that,
Yeah, we are now.
Yeah, but she said it's gotta be specifically on the,
anything that anybody talks to has to be specific to the items on the agenda.
I thought it was a vote. You can't take a vote
No.
if it's not on the agenda.
Anything you talk about has to be specifically put on the agenda. So in the future, without talking about anything, in the future, if you wanna put public comment regarding, I'll find out the wording from Tim on how there's.
It's public comment, I know that, but I mean,
You can
you mean
have-
to tell me,
but you
so
have-
You can
if,
talk about anything on public comment.
You
well,
can talk about anything you want, but we have a whole thing.
yeah,
Oh, what?
But we can only listen to public
Yeah,
comment.
you don't vote.
You don't.
Yeah,
vote.
you don't
there's
have
no
to-
vote,
There's
there's no vote.
You don't have any
So,
say.
in other words, if somebody's sitting out there that's frustrated on what we've done, I mean, they can get up and do whatever they have to do in their
Right.
speech, and we'd sit here mum.
Well,
Yes.
you can talk
We
to
don't
them,
have to
but
answer.
you can't make any,
Well,
you
you
don't
could
have
put
to.
it on the agenda for the next
For the
meeting.
next one, yeah.
Yes, then you can talk about it.
But what's this new rule that you're trying to put on us?
No
No
new
time.
law, it's just the
No what?
the AG's office has made it clear that our agendas, like many in the state, do not have enough information to comply with the Open Meetings Act, therefore they want a lot of information on every item. So you can't just say discussion of the election, you have to break it all down. You can't say approval of the previous minutes, you have to put the exact minutes where we used to put approval of the previous and then we name them there, things like that. You just can't.
Suppose you had a citizen up there and all of a sudden he wanted to talk about national politics.
Can't.
Saying that he
Or
really
you put
liked-
on your sheriff badge and you just escort him right out, 'cause
Can't.
we don't talk
I
about
was-
politics in this building.
No, okay.
It'll be put on the next agenda, not the politics, but I mean, you know.
Well, people can talk about politics during general discussion, but there's no opinions or anything. My office has no opinion on anything. It's just,
Yeah, but my theory on what you said is somebody gets up and wants to say something on anything, if it's not on the agenda and it doesn't come under polling places, we can't talk about it, you said, or the Attorney General said. So it goes on
like,
the
we
next
shouldn't even be
meeting.
talking about it right now, because
Okay.
we should say discussion as to
Talk about
new
talking
rules
about
from the Attorney General's office on agenda and minutes management, or some language like that.
I would imagine that we could talk about what we want on the next agenda, like hiring poll workers and.
I think we should pass the agenda back and forth a lot, and everybody with any idea in their head stick it on the agenda. We can always take no action.
Okay.
More is better during elections, as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather be inundated with information I don't need than have one thing I do need missing.
Well, like the town council, we can take their word under advisement
That's right.
and end it right there.
Well,
Know that phrase by now?
you know, you wanna discuss it, put it on the agenda for the
For
next
the
meeting.
next meeting, right.
All right, anything else? Carrie,
No?
But,
Mary Ann?
yeah, I have a question on that. If he wanted it on the agenda, I mean, he can't demand it on the agenda. He'd have to get one of his councilmen to put it on the agenda, am I
Right.
right? So,
We have
if
to, that's our
that
doing.
general person is up there and says, well, I'd like to have it on the next,
Agenda for
agenda,
discussion.
right?
He can do
That
it.
doesn't necessarily mean one of his councilmen have to sponsor that.
At the council meeting, not here.
No, at the council meeting, am I right?
Right,
Just because he wants it on the agenda doesn't mean it's gonna go on,
right,
am I right?
right, Mary Ann? And
Yeah.
somebody can get up and say, I want that, say,
They can say, thank you. That ends the discussion.
Right.
Whether it goes on the agenda or not, I mean, somebody could press them to say, well, is it or isn't it, but they don't have to respond. That's the
Right.
thing. They
That's
do,
the- that's
they
the
try
key
not to
word.
get everybody angry, but, you know, that's the nature. I think that, if either Dennis or Pat wanna say something about stuff on the agenda, they can come up to the mic.
yeah, I know. Felix did,
Yeah, but no
you have
public
anything?
comment now.
I do not.
okay. Anybody wanna, here it comes, the first one, anybody wanna put something on the next agenda that may not show up unless we say to put it on?
Do you have any idea how many meetings we're gonna have before the presidential primary?
No, we got another one this month, right?
You have, this is a special tonight, we have
Right.
another one on the 21st, is it?
Something like
What's
that.
it, the
The
7th
third-
and 14th?
The third
21st
Tuesday?
night. And then I suggest we meet twice in February,
Okay,
probably 2 to 3 times in March, and then as much as needed in April. We
Okay,
can play it by ear,
Yeah.
but plan on a few meetings a month for February
Okay.
and March, and then in April, as many as are needed.
okay.
If we need an extra one in March, we can.
All right.
I would like
Let me ask you, okay?
Wait a minute,
One more
Felix has
question.
something.
What's that?
You want separates on that, Ray?
I can do it separate, or
She
you can,
put both minutes. You want separates? She could just make a copy of that for each folder.
it's up to you.
And next time she'll do them separate, but she'll
Okay.
put one in each, okay?
When's the deadline for,
Separate.
Yeah.
For,
the agenda for the next meeting, or?
What's
Then
it,
you have to
20
file that on the,
the
online.
20
So-
probably the Friday before, gives us 48 hours,
Okay,
it's
so
just a
if-
Monday.
48
If any of us had something put on, we could get in contact with you and,
We'll send you the agenda
Or you
and
can
look
get
it
in
over,
contact.
send it back, mark it up, send it back to Carrie, she'll update it and add whatever you want on it.
but we should
Wednesday, the
contact
Wednesday
Ray,
before
have
at
Ray
noon.
contact you if we
Yeah.
want something put on the
The
agenda.
Wednesday
correct?
before the
Yes.
meeting at noon.
Yes.
The Wednesday before
Yeah,
the
did
Did you
meeting
hear
at
that,
noon,
Kerry?
the
Yeah.
cutoff.
They're gonna call me, and I'm gonna call you and put it on the
Okay,
agenda.
I'm ready.
Right, that's
Felix
chain of command.
Felix
Yeah, I
wants-
see him, I see
But
him.
that would be the Wednesday before the meeting is how we cut it off for town council, gives you a couple days to make sure it's posted.
Is that,
Yeah, right.
Felix?
Yeah, can you, last time, the primary, we had poll worker training, then we had general poll worker training, there seemed to be a question, do poll workers that worked need training again? At first, we said yes, and then I
would say
think,
yes.
I say yes.
then I think the comment was, well, if you were trained to work in the primary, you don't need, I think there was, can you just clarify? If someone is trained, if someone worked and was trained in the last two elections, will they need training for the primary? And
We
then,
don't- okay.
if they get trained for the primary in September, do they need to be trained again a few weeks later? Because I think last time we were told no.
Okay, here's how it works. There'll be training for the presidential preference primary.
Right,
Moderator training is dictated by the state, that's a separate
Right.
thing, okay? But other training will be here for our own poll workers. It will be before the April one.
right.
We'll offer another one in September. It won't be required, but many people, when we were gonna do it both times, wanted both. So and you get paid
It
for
won't be
both.
required if they were trained for the
It will
presidential.
not be required, it will be suggested.
Right,
And then for the presidential preference, for the presidential election, if you were trained for the primary, there's once again not a requirement,
So
but
if you
I
would-
guess we're gonna
so
do
someone
that.
could have been trained for the presidential primary. They don't need, but it's suggested for the primary in
Right.
September, and they don't need it for
If
the
they
general.
work this.
And they don't need it for the general election.
Yeah.
Right. I think they should get trained.
I do too, and we suggest it and we pay them. And if they don't show up, we need poll workers. But there are people who've been doing this forever. The poll pads make it a little different now, but a little easier. So, but we like everyone trained on the poll pads. We'll do a training for every single election, absolutely.
No, see, because that should have been put on the agenda on the poll.
Well, that's about, yeah,
Well,
it is on the agenda.
But, yeah,
No, you're gonna do
upcoming
another one now, and
elections,
we're gonna
yeah.
discuss poll workers at another meeting.
Yes.
And that's when I would think you discuss the
That's
training,
when-
under
yeah.
the AG new rules.
Yeah,
It takes some
exactly.
getting used to, I'll tell you.
Oh, every single town council
Yeah.
meeting, yeah.
Anything else? Hearing none and having passed to our regular order of business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay, yeah, can I say something? Before we
Yeah.
adjourn?
Is it on the agenda?
No, but this is, general discussion, you didn't ask if,
No, we're not doing that anymore.
Oh,
The
we're
general
not doing that
discussion's
anymore?
gotta be on the agenda, right, Mary Ann?
Yeah. We have general discussion, we have to have public comments.
Yeah.
probably, no.
And there's nothing on there now about general discussion period, that's why I didn't ask anything.
I'll find out what the language would be to let every one of you speak, some simple
I
language.
just wanted to thank Karen for those delicious Christmas cookies that she made. And I also wanted to thank, the Board of Canvassers for that premier basket that I received while I was recovering from my accident.
Very good.
That's all.
Happy New Year to
Those
everyone,
cookies were the best.
and, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
I so moved.
I'll second that.
So voted, all those in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
So voted unanimously. No, anybody say no? I don't think so. Kerry,
Yes.
what's her name got confused with this? I don't